Yo, Japan is so fire, man.
Yeah, man.
People gotta come to Japan, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the Airbnb. Peace, peace. We out here in Japan. Shout out to Japan. We out here in Tokyo. Sitting on some take. You know, very strong. They call it take, but for some who don't know what it is, it's bamboo. Very strong herb right now, but we're here live, man. Doing our thing. This is Extraketchup, Dominican artist from the Bronx. You know, born in Harlem. You know, used to have a gallery back in Bushwick. We out here in Japan, just keep moving with the brand and just trying to get people on this side, you know, of the earth familiar with the style and the understanding of the culture a little bit more through my understanding of, you know, streetwear as an art form. So the brand, you know, I used to design clothes for a while. I've been designing clothes since I was in high school. But I got more into the brand and took it serious once I started, you know, getting familiar with the social media and, you know, the strong definition of, you know, what having a brand on a social platform could do. So because of social media, I'm able to come to Japan. So for needless to say, you know, from 2016, just going strong, you know, throwing events, started off, you know, throwing parties just to get the people to, you know, see once that name was there and, you know, what that name was about. It, you know, came with an art form. It just came with just telling the narrative about the whole, you know, culture of, you know, hip hop and where it's going, you know, what it's been influenced, you know, the people who, you know, are inspired by it still and what, you know, they have to present in their form of the truth too. You know, it just is not only about, you know, the brand, but it's about everything within the hip hop community. And, you know, just New York itself, but we out here is just a brand, like I said, it's just defining the truth, the way I see the truth, and this is just, you know, like I said, it's an art form, and this is just one of the art forms that I get familiar with and I like to master. You know, hand painted, this is rework, you know, this is Uniglow painted pants that I just remastered, hand sewn in, you know, some flowers, different stuff. Brands that I really was, you know, inspired by, you know, of course, was like brands like A-Life, you know, like Mishka, brands like, you know, there was so many, but like, you know, going to stores like the, you know, the Reed Space, that was, you know, Jeff Staples' spot, introduced you to so much streetwear. You know, you start, you know, going to stores like Clientele, you get familiar with stuff like Supreme. I came around the era that you have stores like Recon, where you're able to buy stuff from Futura, Stash. You know, you're influenced by this, you know, essence of, you know, design work, but it's still giving you, you know, that real New York. But it's so many brands, even like brands of my own homies that's coming up now. Like, you know, I have so many friends who's doing stuff, like people like New York Pen, people like, you know, my man Antonio Mariero from the Bronx, who's just, you know, a lot of people who's making a lot of good stuff. So these people, you know, inspire me too to keep on going. Top 5 artists right now that I've been listening to, or just like been listening to a lot of new hip hop. My man Ace SL was nice. If you look up, you know, Ace SL, he's dope. Of course, you know, you got like, you know, people's like, you know, my man Bob Styles, my man Plaza. Like, these are people who's coming up, you know, doing music. You know, like, there's so many people, but like I listen to, you know, whatever's, you know, popping right now, like of course the Griselda, everybody's, you know, listening to the Griselda, but like Rock Marciano, The Alchemist. I'm still inspired by, like, you know, people like Nas is still making music. So as far as like top 5, it's so hard to choose a top 5. Yeah, so like sneakers, man, like I was saying, telling his boy earlier, he had on the Shocks, but like, yo, the Shocks is like, one thing I knew about Shocks was growing up in the Bronx, a lot of people from Harlem would started wearing Shocks, and like, you know, a sneaker that nobody really picked up off the shelf. They kind of like, you know, made it stylish, or like, but like one of my favorite shoes, like growing up, always been like Air Maxes. Any kind of Air Max. As far as pairs of sneakers, right now I don't have too many. It was a point I had a lot, but right now I don't have too many shoes. I would say, in the total count, I would say under like 30. Before I used to have a lot of shoes, and I used to save them, and then they started, becoming hard to even wear. I have shoes I can't even wear that are great condition. I just can't wear them because I extended that box, lifestyle. I was just like cherishing them more, but they was just, I should have worn them, and now they just went to waste. Now I just never even wore them. But have a lot of shoes that I just refuse to throw away. But like wearable shoes that I have on like a consistent like circle, I would say about like a good like 10 to 12 sneakers. So the way I dress myself, I always go with the sneakers. I started teaching before COVID hit. I would say about like late 2017, early 2018. Started doing art therapy, but then transitioned into just focusing more on the culture of graffiti. So I teach graffiti to the youth and some adults. Not all adults take the class. I try to focus it more on the youth and like children with autism and all different schools. But I've been teaching throughout the tri-state area. I've even done classes upstate New York. I've traveled to do classes. I do at-home classes for one-on-one sewing, like basically an introduction into how to create something or learn your machine. You get what I mean? So like I just been educating, and it's more fulfilling because it's actually you get to be inspired by the person that you're in front of too, and it's something that you already know. So if this person needs help, it's like if you create that time and that service is able to monetize your way and moving forward with something and providing that service, then it's good, because at the same time you do it something effortlessly instead of killing yourself for something that is not really rewarding at the end of the day. So like with me, that's why I teach, because it is rewarding to me, and I'm able to actually continue to focus and get better at what I'm doing as far as my craft goes. Because even when I'm teaching the class, it doesn't matter, like I always learn something new, even if it's not have anything to do with what's in front of me as far as the teaching material is. It could be something like with emotion, or just how to deal with a person on a different level or a spiritual level. Then you always get something out of every class. I mean, as far as advice, as you're creative for going out to anybody in Japan, anybody who studies the culture and understands and appreciate and it's paying homage, it's always good to of course do the history. You can't stop yourself from actually creating something if you have an idea to borrow and use the image of something. You're actually honoring that. So it's good that you continue to do it. I would say just continue to move it forward, because it's the only way that it's going to exist is through this kind of art form. People are wearing it with pride. So it's awesome to see that people come out here and express themselves through the hip hop, and you see it influence so hard on the people, and they wear it. But Japan so far has been, as far as creatives and anybody who's making anything, like a lot of the people who's already out here stylish on his own, I feel like just keep pushing your style, keep doing whatever you do that you are comfortable in. And even if it's something that you might find crazy, as long as it makes you feel good wearing it, then it's great. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it takes you so long to make something, as long as you're fulfilling and continuing to create what is yours. You get what I'm saying? And it has your name. That's all that matters. So honestly, like I said, man, like Japan is a really dope spot. As far as the food is amazing. So far, everything I've eaten, even on the flight here, has been good. But yeah, the culture, man, is so peaceful here. Like I told my homie earlier, like you're surrounded by like sirens and traffic and just chaos. Not to even downplay and say that New York is full of chaos at all, but sometimes it's depending on where you at, it can be very cluttered. So where I'm coming from, I'm surrounded by noise. I'm always on the go and I'm always moving. So to actually walk around in an area where you're not seeing and hearing peace is different. You get what I mean? So like, also the people are very zen. Is as far as it being the most cleanest place I've ever traveled to, I feel like just riding the train yesterday at like 12 midnight and nobody talking, and it's just completely quiet. It's just like, I don't know, it's just everything in here is just very like, it makes you want to slow down. Coming from where I'm coming from, people in New York move very fast. Over here it's like, I'm gonna take my time.
Wow,
so much fucking flavor. Why not? Tennessee?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Yo, I just see the barbershop in your